Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be the next installment in my palette of the week series. I'm currently trying to focus on using a different eyeshadow palette for work each week, and in these videos I'm going to be showing you this palette, I'm going to be doing a look with it and giving you my thoughts on it and just generally being a little bit chatty. You will notice that we are now on part 3 and I'm still completely failing at making this a weekly thing. It is not going well on that front. I have just got quite a lot of overtime at work at the moment, so filming isn't quite going according to plan. I had a day off yesterday, I had so much planned. I was finally going to film my review of the Lois Cosmetics Mimi in the Underworld palette, which I've been meant to do for weeks. I cleaned my kitchen, it's absolutely impeccable. I did loads of laundry. I started editing yesterday's video, and then I had to take a 2-hour nap. So that is what is going on with filming at the moment. It's a little bit all over the place, but I think eventually it will kind of settle back down and get there. So yeah, there's not going to be much of a schedule at the moment. We're just kind of going with it and hoping for the best. Anyway, for this week's palette, I'm going to be using my Morphe 39S. I still think she looks absolutely beautiful, but she is impractical as ever. I mean, she takes up all of the screen. I have used this one on my channel recently. I will link you guys to that tutorial, but my good friend Susan asked if I would be using it again anytime soon. I know she has purchased it recently because it was on sale, and I hadn't decided what I wanted to use this week, and I thought, you know what, why not? Let's dip back into it, see how it goes. And yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it. There was actually a lot of shades that I still hadn't touched in this palette. I've had it for 2 years, so it was time to change that. So I'm going to go and prime my eyes with my P. Louise base, and then I'll be right back so that we can jump into the look. All right, there we go. So my primer is now on. By the way, if you're thinking that my brows are looking a little bit messy, a little bit thicker, they are. I am overdue a wax right now. It has been maybe 4 weeks since I had them done, and I would normally do it every 3. But I kind of feel like over the past year, while I've been having to do my own brows over lockdown, they have gradually gotten thinner and thinner. So I'm actually letting them grow out a little bit at the moment. They are definitely looking quite thick right now. I know that's not for everybody, but you know what? I have a thick brows. So I'm going to start off with my first shade on my Morphe M124, and this is Make It Rain. And I'm going to start off with a rounded shape. So nothing particularly original here. Just placing my colour, figuring out where that shape is going to be, leaving plenty of room for when it comes to cutting my crease. And don't worry, it is going to be slightly different. We're actually going to do a halo eye today. So I'm just going to bring the colour underneath and then back up, really focusing on that rounded shape. One thing that I definitely tend to find with this palette is that I kind of always end up using the same shades, which when there's 39 of them, could probably do better. I'm going to place the colour on the inner portion and then on the outside as well. Getting ready for that halo eye. But yeah, I feel like I probably do start most of my looks with this colour. I probably did in my last video using this palette, but I am going to try and take it into a different direction later on. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more colour here. Definitely getting lots of fallout. This is a pretty pigmented shade, but the fallout will be hidden by my mask when I get to work, so I don't really mind. Alright, this is where I'm going to try and divert a little bit from what I would normally do with this palette. I'm going to go in with the shade Very Good, and I'm going to take a Morphe M506, and I'm just going to start blending that out. So like I said, I do kind of feel like I always end up using the same colours in this palette. So what I did this week to help me get a little bit of inspiration, use different colours, is a bit of a palette bingo. So I was picking 6 shades at random, but then I wasn't necessarily just using those or even using all of them. I would kind of switch out, use other shades if I thought they would work better, or like if I got 5 shimmers and thought, well, I can't do a look with this, I would just add some other mattes. And that's how I realized that I had some shades that I'd never used, and I was like, oh god, okay, we need to do something about that. And some of them are stunning. I mean, before my Book of Magic palette came along, this is what I used to call my perfect colour scheme. I think this is probably the last time I've gotten really excited by a Morphe palette. I don't feel like they've done anything recently that I've really gone, okay, I need that. Okay, then next I'm going to take a Morphe M456 and the shade Bougie. And again, I'm still blending. By the way, I don't know if you guys can hear the wind out there. It is like intensely windy today. I will insert a screenshot of the weather forecast for today. You guys know I normally bike in. That is not happening. I mean, it would be one hell of a workout if I did, but then I don't think I'd have any energy left for work. I'll be taking the bus. It'll be just a bit easier. This definitely does feel a little bit similar to my last look right now, doesn't it? Very similar colour scheme going on here. Don't know, maybe it's the blonde hair. Now I'm like, oh, I want to wear pink all the time because it just works so well. That reminds me, I realised I haven't mentioned anything, but guys, I actually styled my hair curly. I mean, you guys can obviously see that. It's the first time I've styled my hair curly since getting the highlights done, and I was really nervous about it because last year when I had them done, it wrecked my curls and they took months to recover. They are a bit frizzy because I washed them yesterday and I've slept on them, but they look good, like they're not ruined or anything. I'm seriously impressed. Bearing in mind, the hairdresser had to do about 3 bleach baths to try and get rid of the blue and get me where I am. So I thought my hair would be completely fried and I'm really pleased it isn't. Okay, I am kind of wishing I'd gone for a lighter shade. This hasn't quite given me as much difference as I was hoping. So I'm going to take the shade Pink Prize on my Morphe M514, which is just a really nice blending brush. We're just going to try and soften all of that up. It might have a little bit of a struggle because we're now at the point where the P. Louise base is meeting my foundation. So obviously my foundation is set and powdered down, which the P. Louise base isn't. I think it's going okay. I'm hoping. Okay, that seems pretty good actually. We're getting there. All right, and now you guys know the drill. I'm just gonna go through all of those shades again from darkest to lightest, just to re-intensify everything and make sure it's all nicely blended out. Okay, there we go. That's looking really, really nice and intense. I'm really happy with that. Do you guys remember my review of the Ultraviolet palette from Makeup Revolution? I feel like this is what an ultraviolet palette should be giving us, not what we had in that palette. This is just really intense, purple, pink. Love it, can't go wrong with that. So I'm gonna pop on the halo eye next. I'm not gonna bother to clean everything up today. I don't tend to do it with halo eyes, I'm just a bit lazy. And I'm gonna take the P. Louise Mitchell Acid Rain Paint in Blank Canvas. I have used this one twice now for cut creases, and I think it might be my favorite product for that so far, so let's see how it works out today. The only thing I find is because the opening is just so wide, it's kind of hard not to get too much product out, so that side of things isn't great. I'm gonna take my Peaches and Cream PC54. I've warmed up a little bit of the product on the palette, and I'm gonna go straight in with it. I definitely find that working with my eye open is overall working a lot better for me. Like, I don't really do the whole looking up for transfer thing. This kind of does the same thing, but it's actually kind of easier. And now I'm gonna fill the rest of that in and I will define the crease. I really like this brush from Peaches and Cream. It's very precise. I definitely want to pick up at least another one of this, maybe a couple more. It's just nice and sharp. If you haven't tried Peaches and Cream's brushes yet, they are lovely and they are at a really good price point. Okay, we've got a bit of the purple coming through, but it's definitely not as bad as what I used to get with the normal P. Louise base, so I am definitely not mad at that. I'm just gonna come in with a Zoeva 231. I used this to intensify, what is it, rain something? I've forgotten what that was called. Make it rain. And I'm gonna use it to blend out the edges, but I haven't added any extra product. This definitely dries down faster than the normal P. Louise base. So yeah, blending is a little bit harder, but also I'm not finding that it kind of goes too far, if that makes sense. There's been times where I've gone in to blend my P. Louise base for a halo eye and then I've accidentally taken the base all the way in. So I'd say this is going quite well. I'm gonna take a little bit more of Make It Rain, just intensify it a little bit. So now I'm going to fill in the halo shape, and I'm going to take the shade You Fancy, and this was one of the shades that I had never used before and I was shocked because it is gorgeous. I'm taking it on a P. Louise brush. This is one that came with the cancelled base. I'm going to pop it on. I think I'd never used this shade because in the palette it just looks like a bronze, but it's got like a bit of a pink shift to it. At least I hope you can see that. It's just got really nice glitters, a really, really nice sparkle. So at this stage I'm going to fill in the whole shape. I'm not worrying about blending just yet, just placing the colour. I do think it's very, very pretty. And then using a smaller eyeshadow brush, I'm now going to go into Bling Thing, which is one of the topper shades. And again, this was one that I had never used. And that's going to go all along the top just to give it some extra sparkle. Just going to take it down the middle a little bit. It's not popping that much, but I just wanted an excuse to add some extra sparkle, really. And now I'm going to take a clean Zoeva 231 and I'm going into Wine Not. And I'm going to use that to blend in between Make It Rain and Bling Thing. No, not Bling Thing, You Fancy. Taking it a little bit too far right now, but that's fine. I'm just going to do a bit of back and forth between the shades. And now I'm going to go back into You Fancy and blend back over, and the colour that is creating is stunning. In fact, I think I might just pull it in a little bit further. Yeah, that is super, super pretty. It's definitely giving me sunset vibes, but because we haven't got any like orange and yellow going on, it's like the sun is nearly gone, like it's right at the end. Yes, that is really, really pretty. I'm just going to take that Zoeva brush again, although I'm not adding any product. Just making that really seamless. Alright, I'm just gonna go and do the halo on the other eye, and I'm gonna decide what I'm doing on the lower lash line, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I went ahead, did the halo on the other eye, and then I was starting to experiment with what I wanted on the lower lash line. I just went on autopilot and just started doing this eye as well when I was meant to be showing you, so that's not very helpful. So what I did start off with the shade Wine Not, just as my first shade, just to tie it back to the top lid. I thought it would work quite well. So next I'm going to go into Very Good just to blend that. And I have to say, I thought I might struggle a little bit at this stage because I do have set concealer on rather than a wet base, but you can see that they are going on absolutely fine. And then we're just going to do a little bit of Bougie as well. And then a little bit of Pink Prize. I know I'm putting weird faces, it's because it kind of just pulls everything down, and I can just make sure it's all blended out to the same level. And then for the inner corner, I went into Catch the Light, and again, as you can see, I did accidentally start doing this eye. So I'm just gonna take some more. It's just so glittery. It reminds me a little bit of that Fenty highlighter, the Diamond Bomb. I'm just gonna take a nice small brush as well, and just add a little bit of that under the brow bone. Okay, for my waterline, I'm going to try Screamin' from LA Girl. I'm not the biggest fan of these. It just takes so much work, but I feel like the contrast might be nice. Oh yeah, I really, really like that actually. That looks really good. Does it need a liner? I feel like it might need a smoky liner. I can't decide. Maybe just a thin liner. I mean, I say a thin liner. I never managed to do one. It'll probably end up being really, really thick. But let's try. Just taking my Inglot gel liner as always. Yeah, there we go. That just makes it look a bit more polished, a little bit more finished off. All right, brilliant. I'm really, really happy with how that's looking. So I'm just gonna go and do my lashes off camera and then we'll finish off the rest of the face. All right, I've got my lashes on now. I went for the Alex lashes from By Libby Beauty. I feel like they suit the rounded eyeshadow shape a little bit more because they're not quite as extended as the Ivies. And I think for blush, I'm gonna go quite warm. I'm thinking L'Oreal Life's a Peach. I'm also thinking the Peach palette from I Heart Revolution. I am really, really enjoying this at the moment. I think I might use it as more of a blush topper, I think, because this one is fully matte. Sorry, I thought the blush fell out, but it's this cheap brush. Why do they still include these brushes with these blushes? I don't get it. Like, I'm never gonna use this to do my blush. Do people actually use this? Listen, we need to stop it with these disposable brushes. Just buy brushes. They're not expensive. They'll last you. No one needs to have, like, think of the packaging waste, you know? We don't need that. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. So I'm gonna start with the L'Oreal Life's a Peach. And I'm just gonna pack it on. And it is just a really pretty shade. I feel like this is what I'm going to say every week. I'm definitely going quite over the top on the blush. Definitely too much for work. I mean, so are the eyes. But then I'm wearing a mask at work, so it'll be covered up. But I just really like a strong blush anyway. This is quite intense though. And now I'm going to switch to the I Heart Revolution Peach palette. And I'm going to go kind of down the middle. And for that I take an angled brush. Just focus that more on the back. Just add just a little bit of texture in. I mean, my skin has enough texture, but you guys know what I mean. Shimmery blushes are just nice at this time of year. Okay, and then for the highlight, I think I'm gonna go back into Catch the Light, which is what I've got on the inner corner. So I've just picked it up on my Peaches and Cream brush. Is this gonna work? It's not gonna be super intense. It's just gonna be super glittery. Again, definitely totally work appropriate. God, it is so windy out there. Oh, look at that lip highlight though. Oh, that is really pretty. That just leaves lips. I haven't decided what I'm doing yet. I think I might just want to match it back to the eyes, so I have a feeling I know what colour I'm gonna take. Yeah, I do like this one. It's called Devotion by MUA, and I think, yeah. I feel like I have used this one on camera a lot, but I do really like it. I do think it's really pretty. I just need to remember to take my lipstick off before I go to work, because otherwise the mask ends up smudging all of it. I think I last wore this one and it was like just all around my mouth and I looked really stupid. I'm also gonna go in with some gloss and I'm gonna use the shade Cheeky by Fenty. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a good idea. That works. That ties it back into the eyes really nicely. Yeah, that feels more like the right tone now. And then for setting spray, I feel like we've gone down the tropical, holiday, festival vibes. So I'm gonna take my iconic London Prep Sun Glow because I just love it. Alright guys, here is the finished look. I hope as always that you like it. I'm looking at this lip now and I'm really unsure about it. I think it might actually be a bit too much. I think I need to switch it up, guys. I normally really do like a bold eye and a bold lip. I know you're not meant to do them, but I don't care. But I think this isn't quite the right shade of pink, and I really wish I wasn't wearing gloss because it is a nightmare to remove right now. Right, let me do Tranquility, still by MUA. Okay, there we go. That is definitely an improvement. I've tried to cover up the pink as best as I could. I think I've managed. And I am gonna go back over it with Cheeky just as soon as it's dry. Yeah, there we go. That works a lot better. I think I did have pink on the gloss applicator, so it's kind of brought back in some of the pink. But I think it actually kind of works in this context, so we're gonna leave that here. Anyway, guys, now that is it for today's video. I like this a lot better with this lip. I'm very happy. I absolutely love how the eye look came out. It's exactly what I was going for. I have really enjoyed playing with this palette again. I'm not gonna try opening it because it's just too much hassle to hold up. But yeah, I've really enjoyed playing with it again, and it's been fun to actually try and make sure I'm using shades that I haven't used before. I can't believe there are that many shades in the palette that I had never used. Like, it just seems so crazy to me. Actually, during the week as I was using it, I didn't feel like the pigmentation was maybe the best, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe this isn't that good of a palette anymore. It was at the time, but now, you know, there's better out there. And I have to say, switching to the P. Louise base today, because you guys know that's not what I use when I'm normally going to work, the pigmentation is definitely working a lot better. I think it's come out a lot brighter than anything else I've done during the week. So I definitely think this palette isn't going to work equally depending on what primer you use. Yeah, it's been really, really fun reaching for it again. As I said, I'm going to keep using it tomorrow and Sunday because it's still the same week. And I feel like it's a palette that, even though it's a set color scheme, it has so many shades, it has enough variety that we might see it make a comeback at some point. Not too soon, because I do have other palettes that I want to try and use up, but yeah, this was fun. I have no idea at this point when this video will go up. I hope it doesn't take too long, but who knows at the moment. So guys, if you enjoyed today's video, then do please, as always, make sure that you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment and letting me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, then do please make sure that you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys!